live. Good evening, and much love to everybody out there. Right at the gate, I want to thank everyone that shares the stream. It's appreciated more than you know. And I want to thank all you guys that check in and hang out here on the live streams. Good to see everybody out there. 5x5, so I guess we're good on the mic. Everything's good. All right. Thank you, mods, E. Fitz, Kathy, Hoodie Ross, everybody out there, Kev Bar, all the crew. Hope everyone is doing well. Plenty to talk about here tonight. Gonna dive into a couple updates. Gonna dive into a couple of the normal things I get into with the economics, and then we're gonna jump into the politics and everything to do with this Trump shooting, alleged shooting, and everything tied into it. Uncommon. Jay, much love. Good to see you guys. Hope all is well, gentlemen. The judge with us. Yeah, if you guys got anything to get to me, dabu7@yahoo.com, or tag me at dabu77, like Hologram just did. Like, what do you mean there? In terms of that, anything specific? Much love across the board. Gonna start off here with a quick update from space. If you guys don't know, the sun just let loose with a big X 4.5 class solar flare just the other day, and it is about to hit Earth here any moment. Aside from that, the incoming energy, the biggest thing is going to be this partial eclipse of the harvest moon. Now, this is going to be special for several different reasons. Number one, it's the harvest moon, the full moon closest to the autumn equinox. It's a perigee moon, meaning a supermoon. It's closer to the Earth than normal. Carolyn, love you guys back. Thank you for the coffee. Turn it down a hair. Thank you very much for the coffee. Much appreciated. It looks like everybody on the east coast of the United States, pretty much all the United States, is going to be able to catch this. At least all partial. All of it partially. You can see right down the middle of the United States there, it shows we should see all the eclipse. I'm going to say from like mid-Texas all the way over to the East Coast. If you got a clear sky tomorrow night, you're going to see a supermoon eclipse. So this is a blood moon eclipse. These types of events are rare when you have all these combinations come into play together. It's one thing to just have a supermoon, it's one thing to have a harvest moon, it's one thing to have a blood moon, but to have them all tied in together, just another unique celestial event here in this time that we're living in. And I always like this time of year with the full moon under the harvest moon. Got a good fire going, lights everything up. Good time for fishing. Man, haven't done that in a long time. I hope you guys are getting it in, though, out there. Giovanni in the house. Pixie. I hope you guys witness this. If you do, if you get any images, let me know. dabu7@yahoo.com. I'd love to start the stream off with a shot that one of you guys got of the event. I've also got another space update. And before I get off the sunspots real quick here, we should probably keep an eye on this, what's coming around the corner. 3825, we just kicked out the big X flare, and then we've got two more coming around. We're right into the peak of the solar cycle, so I expect to see more X flares, and they're coming around Earth directed. Just saying. Now, we've got an asteroid warning issued by NASA. We've got a meteor coming in at 19,000 miles an hour, set to miss Earth, and it is skyscraper sized. So it's not one of these smaller rocks that I normally report on. This is 2024 ON, classified as a potentially hazardous object. It's set to go past Earth at 25 times the speed of sound, and it is at, they're saying, between 220 and 240 meters in diameter, and it's massive. It's going to go by close, fast, and whenever you see these types of objects, you got to have some caution, not just for them impacting Earth, but we've got so much stuff out there. And thank you, Annie, for the super chat. We've got so many satellites, other space rocks, like junk all over the place. It can hit anything coming in that close and just knock something else out of orbit. Those things happen. But could also have a bunch of smaller companions, and they could put on a show if anything does enter the atmosphere. But yeah, just a heads up for another rock heading this way. And if you guys don't know, we have this storm system that is making its way into the Carolinas. I believe that they said that this could be Helen. It could be named Helen if it forms all the way. But they're under a state of emergency now because 18 inches of rain fell in less than 12 hours. That's what you call a once-in-a-thousand-year rainfall event. And the place is like completely flooded out. If there's anybody out there from Carolina, from this area, check in the chat, please. Let us know what you're seeing, what's going on. This is going to make its way slowly inland. Carolina Beach itself was placed under that state of emergency. Get over here to the screen. You can see right there the projected path right there. This low coming in. Really kind of slow. It's just going to dump a massive amount of rain. I mean, when you look at some of these clips, this really isn't nothing compared to what I've seen in other places. Complete downtown areas are like under a foot of water in some of these places. Like this, right here. Just a foot or two of water inundating these areas. Storm surge going to be an issue. They're calling this as potential tropical cyclone 8 spins near the coast of North Carolina. This is what's going down. So you can see there, it's just everywhere. Everything flooded out. 18 inches in Carolina Beach. A lot of other places seeing over a foot. So, I mean, there's another shot right there. It looks like they're driving through a lake. Lord McCormick checking in. Good to see you. Much love, and thank you for the super chat. Hope all is well over in the UK, my brother. All you guys, Daz, Crown Jewels, all you guys and your fams. I know you guys are fighting your own battles. I hope it's getting better for you over there. But yeah, that's a look there at what's going on. Look at this dude. Out there standing next to the fence. You can see how high it is. Waist high. Just be careful out there in the floodwaters, guys. No joke. I expect... Okay, Dusty checking in the chat saying it's raining like hell here in Lexington, NC. Okay, so thanks for checking in out there, guys. Greensboro, Crow Beach. Okay, Mama Bear, thank you. Thank you for the updates in the chat. some places could get some much needed rain from this. I myself, um, way I see it is if you can, the more water storage you got out there, the better off you are. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Steve. Looks like he was standing in like 2 foot of water. It was pretty deep in some of them spots. So just be careful out there. Some of the flood water can be super dangerous, and you just never know what you're going to get into. But yeah, I expect that the head in my way tomorrow. We're supposed to see a lot of rain, the outer bands of this thing, all the way up here in Kentucky. So I expect anyone from the ocean to where I'm at to be getting hit with rain. That's pretty far stretch there. It would take something like a hurricane to do that. So yeah, dry thus far where I'm at as well here in Kentucky, but by tomorrow the rain should set in. And just saying, if you're going to get anything like we're seeing in Carolinas, you might want to have a plan. I know if the flooding gets too bad where I'm at, down here in the mountain areas, runs off too quick, anything like that, you're not going to get down some of these back roads. You're just not. The flood water will cut it off. You either be cut off and stranded and just have to wait it out, or have to, if you're lucky, double back and go home, or the other way. I thought that this one was hilarious. We all seen Greta Thunberg here. The young girl in the face that they tried to use over and over and over again for climate stuff. Just over and over and over. Well, it seems that as she's gotten older and matured and started to meet other groups and wake up to the real world and see what it's all about, she's shifting her gears a little bit. And she went and she started to support the whole Gaza thing, which kind of caught the movement off guard because they're like, well, no, you need to be on the other side of this. And it's like too late. It's like she's done made friends with and she's done in these groups and she's done got pulled in this direction. So now all of a sudden, the little queen, Greta Thunberg, they don't like, and they're calling her an anti-Semite. Just bashing her that quick. Because she's now going with the Palestine movement or whatever, backing them and supporting all that. So I just thought it was kind of ironic. It's like they'll use these people to their advantage to try to push whatever they want on the masses, right? And use them up. They'll use them up. But with her, we've kind of seen this coming because if you've been paying attention to her, as I said, the older she gets, the more she seems to realize what's really going on out here with all this crap. It just seems like it to me. So now they're throwing her under the bus. And this will happen to anybody out there that doesn't toe the line. If you don't do what they say, you don't push the agendas that they want, you're getting attacked in some way, censored in some way. We know it all too well. But yeah, next time you see or hear of Greta, it could be in a different light. Because I don't know how this has been. When it comes to the whole the pro-Palestinian group out there, they are kind of being co-opted now. I'm going to get to that here in another story. They're trying to use them to push some agendas. Kathy said rain comes in buckets now. Well, buckle up. Open up them tanks, man. Catch all the water you can. I feel like we're going into a drought season. And I don't feel like it's climate nothing. It's this climate stuff here. I think it's engineered. It's engineering is what it is. Full scale. And I've been warning because we've been seeing the signs of a drought hitting the United States, the eastern part, because for years and years and years, it formed in the west. It moved to the east. It hit the Midwest and the East Coast this past couple summers. and we're in drought-like conditions. And I see it myself where I'm at. Not that it's like bad. I have to say that I'm fortunate where I'm at for the God-given resources, not just the coal and the natural gas and all those things, but come to find out that my state of Kentucky has more flowing water, more running water than any state outside of Alaska, which is crazy to think. But there's that much opportunity to be able to capture water, flowing water here in my state through the rivers and the creeks and the canals and all that stuff. So that opens up an opportunity for power generation if you've got it on your property, and also to catch water. But I've noticed that a lot of the times they're calling for rain, it won't materialize. It usually only shows up in a front. When the front rolls in, like a big storm front rolls in, then you'll get it then. But then other times it's just been, here recently, there hasn't been much. Thank you again, Lord McCormick. Hey, much love, my brother. So, hey, I wish some of you guys we could meet in the flesh before it's all said and done. But, yeah, I would take advantage of catching any water. I know I am. When you go fully off-grid, and that's your way of survival, you've got to stay on top of these things. You can't just take it for granted to leave the water running all the time. And any and all these things that a lot of people take for granted, living off the system, living off the grid, that fluoridated water you're showering in all the time. Hopefully not. Some states are changing, but I'm just saying. I see some change out here for sure. It looks like it's manipulation. Here's one. The rate of depression among Americans has reached a new high. So this is sad to say. I hate to say it, but 3 in 10 people in the U.S. been clinically diagnosed with depression at a point in their lives in 2023. So it puts it at a record high. We've even topped right after COVID. Like the first full year after COVID, it was pretty bad. It was right under where we're at now, but it's even worse than that now. So the decimation of jobs and all that is a big factor there. You know? So see here. I'm going to push on to the next one. Jump into the beef apocalypse. This is what they're calling it anyway. We've seen this coming for a minute, though, because we know there's been an attack on the beef supply. But often these things creep up because no one's really mentioning it in the mainstream. That's what a lot of people are keeping their eyes on, waiting to hear what the mainstream has to say. But we know the chicken's been going up, eggs, all these things, especially with the inflation stuff. But not just with the inflation. It's the fact that our supply is low. And I reported last time that the beef that comes out of Brazil, it's at a low. I also reported last time about the orange juice and the oranges, and that also coming from Brazil. Much love, Gary. So they're pretty much saying that if you want to have meat going into the future, you're going to have to find a way to preserve it. Because they're constantly going to have shrinking cattle herds and everything. I mean, just imagine. Anytime now they want to clamp down with some bird flu, this or that or anything, chickens, eggs, all that goes right through the roof. Remember, it affected the cattle last time. It was jumping from cattle because the cattle was eating stuff that involved the chicken. So with the bird flu, you were getting 2 birds with 1 stone, so to speak, hitting cattle supply and the chicken. And chicken, eggs, beef, milk. I mean, that's huge. It's a lot of staples and 2 freaking animals that once this goes into motion, it's going to be hard to get. Anything can happen from here. We're in this crazy window heading into this election where they need a crisis, man. I feel the Dems need some crisis, some chaos, so to speak. If it happens, I hope you know how to can, or you guys have got a stockpile of some food. We've talked about these things in the past, and I've never been one to sit here and try to push a bunch of Mountain House products on you or anything like that. But I'm going to tell you now, more than ever, though, if it's been a while, you might want to go through your emergency supply. You might want to check some dates. You might want to restock some things right now. Just saying, it's a good time. It's a good time. Right now is. Well, this article here is talking about being able to preserve your meats going forward here. Different ways to do it, but pick one and go with it. Whether it's freeze-dried, or however you're going to do it there. Some people like to make jerky and things like that, which I'm fine with. Options are good. Where I'm from, Kentucky, the way I come up, a lot of hunting. A lot of people I know hunt. It's Kentucky, country and mountains and all that stuff, but I just come up, it was normal for guys to go hunting for deer in hunting season, to get them a deer, and then someone have some venison around. I don't know if you've ever ate deer or venison, what it's called, but done up the right way, it can be very good. It can pack a ton of protein and other stuff if you are in an emergency situation. I'm telling you, if you can't get your hands on any beef because it's gone in the store and you need the protein, you need the meat and all these things, good old deer could save the day. Get one, cut it up, get it in the freezer. I know family members that like to make good jerky and stuff out of it. Man, you can't keep that stuff around. People start tearing into it, you just can't keep it around. It's so good. But things like that, man, I'd be thinking about in terms of survival. Can't get caught slipping right now, man. All right, let's jump into some market activity. Goldman putting out warnings. Remember, we've been watching Warren Buffett sell his shares like crazy. Not only him, but also his right-hand man. They've been selling all kinds of it. A ton of crazy red flags have been flying. So now, Goldman is leaving the credit card business, which I thought was kind of, I throw it out there because it's just another one folding into the cut. It's rather crazy. All these big banks are starting to fold up. They're drying up in different areas and sectors. There was another one, I don't have it pulled up, but it was J.P. Morgan Chase and BofA. Both were cutting back the hours of all their junior bankers and all this stuff. First time ever what they're doing. And it was to save money because it's that bad. Even for them. Yeah, Buffett doesn't want to pay that tax. None of them do. But it's got to be an ominous sign, right, that something's about to happen. When these guys are making moves, man, I'd pay attention. So, what else can we throw in here? Chase's CEO, Jamie Dimon, warns of an economic outcome worse than a recession. Again, when I see these things, when I hear these little things, it's kind of like an innuendo coming from him, a nudge, like, yo, something worse than a recession is about to happen. And it's just that simple. What comes after a recession? Do you guys know? A depression. Okay? And normally, they're not even going to tell you you're there. They'll gaslight you all the way into it. saying, oh, a recession might have just started when you're in a depression. But the word he uses is different. Okay? The word he uses is completely different here. He calls it stagflation. What is stagflation? Well, this is the inflation that we've been seeing. Okay? Yes, you can tie it in with collapse. It's the inflation we've been seeing tied into a very stagnant job market and economy where everything just goes like stagnant, stagflation. And that is the beginning stages of depression. Once it rolls over, because once he says this happens, it's going to lead to the market crashing. He says this. He just flat out says it. No beating around the bush, but this is what he's saying. Now, today, there was all this talk that Jerome Powell and all them were going to raise or cut back the rates and all this stuff because the interest rates have been so high. And they were going to finally do some cutting back and all this stuff. Man, it's all a charade and shenanigans, if you ask me. What I try to pay attention to is these little moves that they're making, when they're pulling their money, when they're exiting the game, and when some of them just got the kahunas or just speak. They're at such a level that when they speak, I don't know, they let some of the facts slip. They put it out there. It's part of the witchcraft if you don't know anyway. They have to tell you what they do ahead of time for it to work. And he fulfills that right here. Sure does. So Jamie Dimon is flat out saying something worse than a recession is coming. And what do you think that is, man? All right. It's one thing for these guys to be buying gold. They're all buying gold. Federal Reserve banks have been buying the gold en masse. Most of the time, they report this. We know countries don't report. Probably every country has a pile they don't report. But it's not every day that they all get caught secretly buying gold en masse. In Saudi Arabia, just got caught doing that. It just goes to show that some of these big dogs out there, major players, even the oil barons, they're dumping all their oil money into the gold. They don't want the black gold. They want the real thing. They want the gold. And they're doing this as quietly as possible. So a lot of this goes down in Switzerland, if you don't know. Has for the longest time. Of course, this is where their major headquarters is, Klaus Schwab. It's where they have the World Economic Forum and all this other stuff, and it's where they do a lot of their dealings. Not to mention, it's where a ton of their bunkers are in the mountains. A crazy amount of deep bunkers. All right, so let me see here. I'm trying to get this... My bad, folks. Hit the mute button there. Push on to the next one here. Let's jump into World War III watch. Covered this in many different aspects here. All the different threats that are going on with Vladimir Putin, Russia, Ukraine. The constant back and forth. It seems like if World War III is going to pop off, it's going to come from this neck of the woods. It's going to come from between Russia and NATO. I mean, it's set. Even though the United States says that China is a bigger problem, when it comes to the nukes, they're not. Um, it's just rather interesting here that with the warning coming from Russia, trying to say that if the United States backs these long range missiles, then anything can go down. That they turn around and they listen to Trudeau and all these others, and they're like, yeah, okay, it's fine. We'll do it. You could argue World War III has already started. I mean, at what point do you say it officially has begun? For real? Like when a nuke drops? Usually the nukes end it. It's how the last one happened. The nukes ended it. So, good point. I would say that it's already begun. I mean, come on. You want to call Ukraine a proxy war? Everybody knows who's behind it. The whole world does. We all know that it's the West over there fighting Russia in Ukraine, just in another person's country, in a different country, not on the home turf. Well, that's changed now because they're taking it into Russia. They're taking it right up into Moscow. Next, soon it's going to be decapitation strikes on Vladimir Putin. Do you think that they're going to stand for that? I do not. I do not. I think you will see tactical nukes detonated in cities before that happens. Launched maybe from submarines as well, off the coastlines. And to be honest with you, there's different ways to go about this. You don't have to strike a city with a nuke from a missile coming through the air. And we don't even know what we could stop. If someone volleyed a bunch of missiles at us, we don't even know what we would stop or how many. We don't. I would say that some would get through. And you wouldn't even need to do that. You wouldn't even need to bring your submarine up for air. Just get it halfway out in the ocean, in the Atlantic, in the North Atlantic, and launch a nuke underwater. Have it hit the shelf, the continental shelf, or the shelf there off the East Coast. It would send a tsunami wave up the East Coast that would make the flooding in the Carolinas right now look weak. It would storm every city. It would wipe out dozens of cities all across the East Coast. And that, militarily, would be a more strategic and smarter strike if you're Russia than to try to hit any cities, in particular through the air. Tsunami bombs is what it's called. It's always been on the table. We brought this up years ago because when you fold your money up, you know how you can see two towers smoking? Hint, hint. Somebody gave you a hint there, too. You can fold your money up and see two towers smoking. We can also see, fold them up different ways, different bills. You could see a wall of water coming in over buildings and everything. And that's yet to be seen. In terms of the United States, surely wasn't Fukushima or anything like no, the United States. So I'm just saying, man, I feel we're gonna get hit. We have to for the history books. I feel like it's coming, man. I mean, don't you? All this going on, it's like, how can it not? How can they get this close to taking out these people in Russia and them not strike? Lights out's even on the table, man. EMPs. All this stuff. Yeah. I mean, all because of this useless war being fought in this area. It's just, it's ridiculous. And it can lead the whole world into big war, World War III, which we don't want to see. So I hope there can be some kind of peaceful resolution to this, but with the Biden regime and with Kamala on deck, here, it's not looking good. that whole regime wants nothing but war. And if you're watching though, the whole Trump administration, they keep talking about Iran. I almost feel that Trump's going to get in there. Okay, they can put him in jail or try a bunch of other crazy chaos and theatrics. I almost think like, all right, let's go to blood. Let's just go to the bloodline. Let's go to the bloodline. Every single U.S. president has been connected via the bloodline. Even Biden. If he would have seen that beforehand, maybe he would have known he was a possible pick. But Trump is a shoo-in. You already know this. Kamala's comes from a different line. And I'm sitting there thinking, hold on. Are they going to break the tradition of every single president since the beginning of this country? All have been connected through bloodline for her? I don't think so. I think Trump gets it. I think he takes it, and I think they bring the house down on him because they hate him that bad. I mean, look at everything they're doing to him. I haven't even gotten to the politics yet, full blown, but it's what it's looking like from here. Remember, you just had Vladimir Putin and Russia come out and say they support Kamala. And this really is strategic on them because what it does is it automatically makes them unavailable to be used as an excuse now. They can't say, oh, it's Russian collusion on Trump's side or any of that. Because right at the gate, they're saying, oh no, we want Kamala. So I think that's it's pretty interesting, kind of funny there. Don't forget that mushroom cloud in the Chinese rover pick, and that Russia said that if anything happens and then we go into World War III, basically, that China's with them. That they're elbow to elbow, those two. So you're not just dealing with one, you're dealing with both of them, and that's the issue. They are a juggernaut. All right, let me switch gears. This is an interesting story. It involves Kim Kardashian, puke, and Pharrell Williams, puke. Illuminati, high-ranking members here that you know are in the game, all famous, rich, and all this, and are in the club. Well, seems they got caught in a trap, and this reminds me of like those crypto scams when they go out there and they don't know any better, and they're shilling crypto coins just to get some money and they get caught up in it. This is kind of similar, but kind of not. This is out of Malaysia. A high court informed last week that stolen funds were diverted from this Malaysian development BHD, Sovereign Wealth Fund, and it was sent into the accounts of none other than Kim Kardashian and Pharrell Williams. And according to the Star, this investigator, financial fraud investigator, made the revelation as part of his testimony in this almost $7 billion lawsuit brought onto this 1MDB coming out of Malaysia. High Court found that this goes all the way back to 2011, over a decade ago. They transferred $1 billion to Good Star for the benefit of these individuals. And it says from there, this money was broken up into pieces, and one of these places is called Talamasca. And Talamasca is actually Pharrell Williams. Pharrell. You know, beautiful with Snoop Dogg. That Pharrell. Yeah. So these honeypots and these traps set up, man, when you fall into them, like, dude, they wait a decade to pull your card. That's what they just did here. Yeah, it's crazy. They're not saying anything. They're like caught off guard that this is happening. So money being moved into their accounts, it's pretty damning. There's like no other way around that. And like excuse, they have to basically play the card that they didn't know that there was anything fraudulent going on, is what they're going to say. They're going to try to play the same card that all these shills that just got caught in this tenant media scandal played. They're going to try to play dumb, act like they didn't know. Whether they knew or not, they're making all this money through all these scandals, man. Not just through the legal, legit way. With their movies and their music and their products. No, Anyhow, if they get caught up or taken down, that's why. And that could really shake up the whole Kardashian empire. You take her down. And here on the world stage, I know that you guys are well aware that Iran is the big boogeyman. That's what they're always saying. But with this whole Trump thing, even with this Trump shooting that just took place, one of the first things some of the pundits kept repeating is like, we don't know if this guy was sent here because of Iran. And it's like, what? What? Why do I keep seeing this pop up? And you goons constantly using the same excuse. Potentially Iran. Like Iran paid this patsy dude to come here and take shots at, they keep throwing it out there. And I feel like if Trump gets in there, they've already got something planned for Iran. Come on, he's all Israel. His whole last presidency, he was pushing no wars and all this. But if something happens and gives them the excuse to go to war, like 9/11-ish, well, then it begins. So now the United States is accusing Russia of helping Iran achieve a nuke. Come on now. Come on. You don't think that they done gave them dozens of years ago? Russia's sitting on so many to think that by now they haven't, Iran, it's not sitting on one as the stupid to me. Look at the Houthis out there shooting off these high-grade missiles. Where are they getting all this stuff from? Russia. That's right. I'm going to play this clip real quick. Some of you guys might find it funny. Our degenerate and falling apart puppet Biden starts barking at these people in the room. This guy just asks him a question, and he looks at him like, don't you talk to me. And then tries to get all serious when the whole room's laughing. I don't know, it's just weird. But that's Biden. Here we go.
Mr. President, what do you say to Vladimir Putin's threat of war? Mr. President, what do you say to Vladimir Putin's threat of war?
You be quiet until I speak, okay? That's what I said. Good idea?
Well, what do you say to Vladimir Putin's threat of war, sir? It's a serious threat.
You gotta be quiet, I'm gonna make a statement, okay? All right, anyway. Mr. Prime Minister, welcome. Welcome back to the White House.
They're all laughing and joking around. He stops and he tries to flex on them. Yeah. Just think, you don't have much longer of this. We don't. The horrific thing is that they try to give you Kamala. But we don't have much longer of this to go. Ever again. The whole chapter of Joe Biden history is coming to a close. Yeah. Want to see the silver lining in some things. All right, let's jump into some of these politics and this whole voting thing, and then we're going to jump into the shooting and a few other things after that. Early voting and mail-in ballots, drop boxes, all the rules for each state. Now, I'm not going to go over all these, but I just want to point out that these are the battleground states, if you don't know. Come election night, Arizona's going to be key. Georgia's going to be key. Michigan's going to be key. Nevada, tomato. North Carolina. Pennsylvania. Wisconsin. So I'm telling you already, man, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, going to be some close ones. But look, this is a rigged show. Who are we kidding? I personally witnessed Trump pack stadiums every single election that he's ran, smoking his competition. That right there are voters. Period. And he didn't win. They didn't give him the win the last time. So I keep saying it that nothing's changed, but I mean this whole thing's rigged. They could give you Trump. I mean, he got in there the first time to appease the right, lead them by the nose to where they wanted them. I don't know. I just kind of feel I take it back to the whole bloodline thing. Somebody out there show me that Kamala is related to all the rest of them through the bloodline, then maybe she's an option to become president. If you can't show me that, or if she's not, then she's not going to be. Just that simple. Just that simple. They're not going to break a tradition of every president that has ever existed. For her? I just don't think so. I just don't think so. They'll regurgitate with somebody they've already had in there. Like Trump, for sure. Notice that he wears a hat that says 45, 47 on it. You know that, right? He wears it. He already shows it. He wears the stuff that says 45, 47. He has been doing this. Like they've known this the whole time of what was supposed to be here. That's just what I'm seeing out of this whole thing. But all right, let's keep it pushing. Here we go again. New York Times warning to expect or not to expect a result on election night due to intense security of mail-in ballots. So they're already setting it. They're already setting it up, saying, "Hey, you guys are not going to know who the winner is." Meaning, all the way up to midnight that night, they're going to be gaslighting us, and they're probably going to be saying, "Kamala's your new president," because they did this before. They gaslit us, and they were saying, "Hillary is your president." We woke up the next morning, it was Trump. Okay? So, right here, man. Thank you, KC from OKC. Much love and appreciated. Trump's mom is the bloodline that goes straight back to it, where they're all tied into. It's that right there. That's the bloodline I'm talking about. But I'm talking about Kamala. Like, somebody show me Kamala's wretched mom or dad is... I'm going to drop some stuff on Trump at the end of this stream that is going to leave your jaw hanging. It's going to leave your jaw hanging. I got some good ones. And for any Trumpers out there, I hope you could take it. These are just facts. We're talking about facts. Pure facts, baby. And biblical stuff. Yeah. And you got to watch out for Barron. That whole book written about little Barron Trump is crazy, crazy, creepy. But the whole thing, it's a prophecy on this kid. I'm telling you. And he's the next generation. His dad, he ain't got much time, left on the clock. I mean, 20 years, max, what, less? He's old, he's in his 70s. It's time for some young blood. And man, Barron, that kid's been prepped. He's been prepped to be somebody, dude, I'm telling you. He's been brought up by daddy, handpicked, I'm telling you. It just seems that he's more would go to his way in terms of power than Eric or Don Jr. Don Jr. seems like such a spoiled brat to me every time I see him talking. Everything else, I'm sorry, it is. Talk about spoiled, they all are. I mean, Barron was born and grew up in a penthouse suite, made of all gold in New York City. Had the whole floor to himself all the time. Somebody says Baron is Nephilim. Bloodline of the Fallen. You say, hey, yeah, and look, he's a damn giant. I mean, I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to clown on him. It's straight up. Anyhow, I just say in terms of the future, I see him being someone in this world. He's like Trump is. I mean, the book talking about him, prophesizing him, little Baron Trump and everything, it wasn't like a little Don Jr. Trump, little Eric Trump. No, it wasn't. It was Baron. And I'm telling you, Melania's bloodline as well. There's a reason Trump's with it. It's a reason they had Baron. It runs deep, man. Anyhow, I'm not even to that yet. So let's get through this election stuff here, because there's some important stuff here. I just told you what's going on with the mail-in ballots, right? Well, look at this. The union for postal workers that are going to be controlling and handling all those mail-in ballots, they just endorsed Kamala. Oh, how nice, right? How nice. You want to see this whole union of the guys that are going to be handling all this stuff just backed her? This is such a fraud. Yet this is what's happening. Just letting you know. Here's one, and this is a huge blow to the cheating demon rats. Pennsylvania and the Supreme Court rules that improperly dated mail-in ballots will not be counted. So they cannot play this game this time around in Pennsylvania and trying to say that they're still counting ballots, and they're in any and all of the garbage they tried to play here. They've shot it down. These are some of the things I was waiting to see. I'm like, how is this election going to be any different than the last if nothing's changed? You have to start to see changes in these places that allegedly shifted everything. I was under the impression that Donald Trump won by a landslide, and then they turn around and read the wrong name off. Record amount of votes in history for Joe Biden. It's like, what the? It's like trying to watch a rigged UFC fight, and they call the wrong fighter winning at the end. It's like, what the? It's exactly what it was like. Threw the belt around Biden, and then threw a fence up around the White House, dared anybody to do anything, right? That's how you knew they did something there. They were paranoid. But now, cackling Kamala is the next puppet. And here, I'm going to play this little piece real quick by Vivek. I think he is very well spoken. I think he hits a lot of things on the head. I think that Vivek calls a lot of things out. Love him or hate him, this and that. He is part of the establishment, but he's even called out stuff on the establishment and breaks it down. And that's what I respect about him there. And he'll say, look, it's the managerial class versus the people. And he doesn't sugarcoat it. He peels back layers that are easy for people to see and understand. And, what else can you say? When someone's speaking truth out here, gotta lend it an ear. And he does shred Kamala a ton of times. And this is just another instance. But let you hear some of these points here real quick and play this quick clip from Ramaswamy.
You hear a lot of fellow Republicans, will refer to Kamala Harris as a far-left ideologue or a Marxist or a communist. You won't generally hear me leveling that critique against her because I think it gives her too much credit. It gives her the credit of being an ideologue. A guy like Bernie Sanders, he's an ideologue. I disagree with his ideology, but I can respect anybody who at least has a clear set of principles who guides them in their actions and their beliefs, even if I disagree with most of the content of those beliefs. Kamala Harris isn't ideological particularly. I think last night demonstrated this too. We're not even up against a candidate. We're up against a machine. It's a perverted, upside-down version, hellish version of the San Antonio Spurs under Greg Popovich or something like that in the sphere of American politics. You could replace the individual person who's playing in the position, but it's the machine that ultimately achieves its objective. And that's what's really going on in this race. This isn't about Republicans versus Democrats, not quite. It's not about black versus white. It's not about man versus woman. The media, the powers that be, will try to train you, divide and conquer, pit groups against one another, identity politics, vote bank politics. Don't fall for that trick. This isn't about Republicans or Democrats even. It is about the managerial class, the bureaucratic class, and the everyday citizen. That's the real divide in this country. You see in recent days, not only Liz Cheney, but Dick Cheney. You know, people who've watched my race last year know that I've been no fan of him, and his recent endorsement of Kamala Harris has nothing to do with it. But Dick Cheney came out and publicly endorsed Kamala Harris. I considered this one of the less surprising things to have happened in American politics this year. And at the same time, you've seen many former Democrats, even iconoclastic Democrats, that have criticized candidates like Kamala Harris or Joe Biden, even from a progressive vantage point, now shifting over to support Donald Trump. So what's going on there? I think it is evidence of the fact that the real divide is not really between the traditional Republican and the Democrat, but between this managerial class, the people who were never elected to exercise political power, be they in the media, be they in certain parts of the corporate capture machine, or especially be they in the administrative state, the unelected bureaucrats who are writing more laws and setting more policies than even Congress, which was elected to actually carry out that function. That's who's actually running the country. It's not Joe Biden. It's not even really Kamala Harris. It's not their ideology, because I don't think they have one. It is the permanent state, the fourth branch of government, the Leviathan, the swamp, the managerial class, the committee class, the bureaucrats. That's who's running the show today. And that's what we're really up against. We're not just running to defeat a candidate. We are running to dismantle a system. That's what Donald Trump meant the first time around when he said he wanted to go in there and drain the swamp. And I think this time more than ever, he has the toolkit to actually do it.
I'm telling you, man. Ramaswamy's something special. He is. He is a great communicator. He does it better than any of them. Like, if he's going to serve on the Trump campaign, you know how they got a speaker? You know how they got Raggedy Ann up there? Had Jim Psaki up there, and now they got whatever her name is, that whatever Karan or whatever her name is. Karine, I forget. He should be that, something like that, because, you know, he speaks it so good. Yes, he is an actor just like the rest. Yes, my first thought is he speaks of this beast in this establishment, but you're a part of it. Right? That's the truth, right? But he at least speaks and puts light on it. He doesn't hide it. He doesn't sugarcoat it. He doesn't lie about it. He puts the light right on it. And, you know, he speaks a lot of truth, so that you can't deny that, whether he's a part of it or not. Is he a part of occult magic? Is that they, especially highest level, they have to tell you what they're doing in advance. You see? And no matter how it gets out there, how it spills out or whatnot, accidentally said or a warning or this and that, information and knowledge is power. He's letting you know who they are. Full scale. He's letting the everyday person that can't understand this, that sees that it's Biden, it's Biden, it's Biden, it's Kamala, it's Kamala. He's like, no, it's not. It's a beast. It's the one word he didn't use that I will use. It's the beast, system, establishment, whatever you want to call it. Notice he kept calling it the managerial class. But he is at least letting you know it's there. So you got to respect that. Um, hmm. I don't know. I trying to get a good vision here on exactly who's going to grab this, and it just again it leans more toward Trump. Again, I this voice laughing inside me every time I say something like, you know how rigged this thing is. Like, come on, like, and yeah, I know but we all got to sit here and watch this play out. So can we at least guess how it's going to play out? Like, yeah, it's rigged, right? Yeah, we know this, but Tucker is warning. CIA trained Tucker, another well-spoken one. That's why he's in his position. And he has dropped plenty of tidbits and good information out there that no one else has before. But he's warning that as this honeymoon type thing fades here on Harris, that they could throw society into chaos. And when you start to think that they could lock things back down, like here anytime, and throw our whole lives back into that mess, that's not good at all.
I think the only option, if they really think they're going to lose, if they haven't locked it down, and I don't know the answer to that because I'm not privy to their plans, but if they think that there's a chance that Trump could win decisively enough in November that they can't steal it, then I think their only option there is to, in some way, throw the society into chaos, as they did during COVID, which was the pretext for changing the way we vote and letting people vote anonymously without IDs and drop boxes and a month before the election, et cetera. They completely changed everything, allowing Mark Zuckerberg to spend $400 million to control the mechanics of the election. That would not have been allowed except under a state of national emergency provided them by the virus they created in a lab in Wuhan, COVID. And so it's pretty simple. If they feel like they're going to lose, we will have some kind of crisis. I think it's most likely to be a war with Iran, which they want anyway, but who knows?
Boom! Boom! I didn't hear him say that last time. I did not hear that. That's 3. Oh, it's 3, man. And, I told you. It just keeps popping up out of nowhere. It just throw it in on the end. Just ticker tape it in. I threw Iran in there real quick. Glenn Beck did it. Sean Hannity did it. What is this circle of guys that probably been out to dinner together? What do they know? Why are they all doing this? Why are they all dropping Iran in there just last second? Literally. Iran is the last on the list. Outside of Syria. Which you can't consider Syria fallen until Damascus has fallen. And when the day that happens, it's a page out of your Bible. The day you wake up and hear Israel's his leveled Damascus, that is written in your Bible, you'll know you're living in that day. There will be no doubt about it then. No one can ever argue where we're at in history when that day happens. And it could happen anytime. Because they've set their sights now on the north, on Lebanon. And right beyond Lebanon is Syria. You seen what they just did. They smashed everything all the way through Gaza down to the Egyptian border. Turn around, now they're going north. The war machine. Yeah. So, Iran, the biggest enemy of Israel. You see? In this, they've been plotting this forever. We've known that this is the last piece. And now all of a sudden, all the big establishment shills out here are saying this. Love them or hate them. Like them or not. That's what makes them so valuable, is they're likable. Okay? You're going against masters of deception here, man. You need to wake up to this. Iran again. And Trump would go to war with Iran in a heartbeat. He would back Israel, especially if they had to do with Israel. You know he would. You already know it. You know it. Just wait till I get to the end here and I go over all these crazy biblical things connected to Donald Trump. So, all right, there it is again. And it was by surprise. I couldn't believe it. Again, Iran brought up, and that leans me even more. It's like I have a scale in front of me, and I am a Libra. So that's kind of how I operate. And so I weigh things. And it's like, all right, throw another piece of silver on the Trump side. And it's just, it's teetering that way. All these things is how I operate, man. They collectively add up. And that's, in my life, that's the direction we always go in. It's where we always end up at. So, I don't know. They could do a rug pull on anything. Come on. This left-right paradigm. I guess it's what they really want. What do they really want out of this? If they really want to piss the American people off and like really want to get up so they can like go to war with them, then they'll give you Kamala. But like, if they've got other plans to like bring down the economy and crash it and try to usher everybody into a CBDC, they'll do it on Trump's watch. And see, they'll do it on Trump's watch in the form of a crisis, but it won't be a CBDC. It won't be called that. And that's all that matters. When people can't get money out of the bank for weeks, and the government, they have to have an emergency plan to give people money, it's already in place. I've told you this every week, every stream. Digital wallets are at every bank connected. They don't have to call it a CBDC. They know the people are hip to it. Call it Trump bucks. We were calling it Biden bucks before. But no, call it Trump bucks. Whatever you want to call it. It's not going to be no one's bucks but yours. It's literally just going to be a copy of what you have in your bank account that you can't get out in dollars. And this is going to be the big ruse. This is going to be the big conversion. And this is going to be pulling all the cash off the table. Because once all this is incorporated, it's over. Who are you going to blame? Who are you going to blame for the big attack? You always need a boogeyman. Russia, take a pick now. Take your pick. Russia, Iran, China, they're all on the same damn team. They're all on the other side from us, the way they've set this up. But of course, the ones that always pull the strings and bring towers down are not what it seems, is it? So I tell you, these guys that make comments, Elon Musk is another one. He is another one. And it's because of his level, where he sits in the world. Wherever he sits tonight, he's sitting there by himself, maybe, thinking he's the richest man on the freaking planet. You know? And he has all these options to do all these things, to change the world in ways other people never could, for the history books. Maybe even change the game. Maybe even catch. Look, if someone is ever going to come along and tear down the machine from the inside, it's going to have to be someone that goes through it and is able to go to the top of it and tear it down from there. It has to be somebody that wakes up and sees the light. After being brought in and born and everything, the evil, being Darth Vader of the dark side, you know? But then awakening. You know what I'm saying? Everything everyone would want Trump to be. Or whatever. This white knight that's going to come save the day. That's what this whole side represents, it seems. And that's why they're coupled together. That's why Trump and Elon, they're all sitting on the same team now, on the side. Versus these other people. But if this was you or me, like the feds have done been at your door tonight. Elon Musk wrote on his website, why is no one even trying or it says no one is even trying to assassinate Biden and Kamala. He said this like, I put this up there right behind him saying that they're trying to summons the demon. He comes out and says some absolute truths that you can't deny. That is just mind-blowing sometimes. He just comes out and says this. He deleted it because they got pissed. They're like, you're basically calling for people to kill us. And he's like, no, how's it feel? You know, like, your comments basically brought this upon Trump, and it's how they're all pushing it out here. Your hate for Trump, everyone should take him out and target him, and all the comments Biden made before he was shot at. Well, now Musk basically saying, look, why do they want to kill Donald Trump? Why? Why? You know, no one is even trying to assassinate Biden or Kamala with the statement. Just that simple. It pissed him off. Elon had to retract it. So, yes, no fear. Fear not. That is repeated at least once for every single day that you're breathing in your good book. Fear not. Why would they say that so much? Fear not these demons. Know your power. All right, we can keep it going here. You can see here that Trump, not happy, blaming the media, the left, all the rhetoric for the bullets flying, coming at him. You can see him and his family right here, and let's just get to the shooter. Let's just get to the shooter in this whole thing. The alleged shooter. Now, when this whole thing broke loose, you know, I, doing what I do, I try to stay on things and be as thorough as possible with everything, especially the smaller details. Yes, things can change, things can be wrong, all that. But when you see something is repeated and you see someone spreading wrong information like wildfire, man, there's nothing more that burns me up. Watch the shills, just grab it and go. You're not even trying to make sure that what they're saying is the case. Because to this very moment, some people are still out there probably saying that Trump was shot at. The shots were intended for him. And as we know today, that's just not the case. You cannot find any FBI agent or anyone out there, officials on the ground. I'm not talking Fox News or CNN. I'm talking the officials that gave the official statements. You can't find a single one in any of the clips because I've shared them and got them out there. They're on my Twitter. You can't find a single one that says that this guy shot at them. Not one. People might want to come and say, oh, Fox News said that they returned fire after they were shot. I don't care what you heard some pundits say. We heard the source where they should have got their information as well, because it only came from one place. There was only one meeting, only one spot, one time where they came out and spoke to everybody with all the cameras running. So how they missed that and confused that, I don't know. Where they got their information, I don't know. But I watched that, and all of them step up there and speak and heard what they had to say. And not one time did they say that their agents were fired upon. Not one time. Not one time. But your shills on social media are still running that there were shots intended for Trump to get their clickbait and all their bullcrap. I'm sorry, it burns me up. So I got to sit here and separate it all out. Separate the wheat from the tare. Because they want to do that and just spread it to all their people. I'm talking huge accounts out there, turd accounts, all these other ones. It just pick it up and run and go. They just run with these narratives. And it's sick because I feel some of it's trappy. Some of it's traps, and they're about to burn some people in these traps. They don't watch it. Just like that. How many went back and quietly erased their tweet Or erase, I didn't say that. Well, I never said they were intended for Trump. What shots? There never was a shot. Dude stuck his gun through the barrel of a fence and they fired on him. That's what they originally reported. That's what they said at the update at the press conference. All of it. It's all right there on video. Again, not once did any of them say our agents were fired upon. Not a single one of them. Never. Nowhere. They were a couple holes ahead of Trump, seen the barrel of an AK come out the fence, fired on him, and dude ran, hopped in the car and took off. Took off. And guess what? Dude wasn't even charged for trying to kill Trump because he never shot. Well, let me get to that. Let me see here. Let me just go through these one at a time here, and you're going to see the goods. So he set up his sniper nest 12 hours ahead of time. We find out today that this was literally a last-minute decision by Donald Trump to go golfing. So they had to set up the security perimeter and all that with the Secret Service detail last minute. How did this guy know that Trump was going to be there? If it was last minute, and if he was there 12 hours earlier, don't you sweep a perimeter, for these things? I just don't understand it. Yes, we're hearing that he has a very small detail because he's not a sitting president. Then we come to find out Barack Obama's got a bigger security detail than Trump does. Either way it goes, after everything that's happened this year, with the last shooting thing in an open area outside with Trump, you're telling me they're not checking every perimeter? Like military or police, when they go in a room and they clear a room, they do it a certain way. Guns pointed, drawn. They clear the room. Like there's a certain way you go about things. Like, how come that wasn't done? Again, they try to keep saying it's because he had such a small detail. That's the excuse that they're going to double back on every time when you ask these questions. But it still does not answer the huge question. How did dude ever even know Trump was going to be there? Trump could have been anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world, anytime. How did he know? So, look, they scrubbed this guy's social media. Okay? And this is some of the huge stuff right here. And over on my X, you can find all this. His Facebook, they wiped out. A guy, and shout outs to all the people out there that screenshot and video record these days, because you guys know what's up. It's beautiful that people are at least to that level, to where they're so used to this now that they know that, the shooter's profiles are going to get nuked. And sure enough, they all did. Even Elon nuked his account, which all you people say, Elon, he's playing this game that he stands against censorship. Yeah, he went and he nuked his damn account. You want to know why? Shout outs to Monograph. His work, October Reigns, you'll see over on Twitter, just doing what he does. He put out some key stuff on this. This is when you look at this guy's Twitter, which again, you have to look at the screenshots because they nuked it. Who was the very first person this guy followed? And shout out to my boy Jay Reach. Mrs. Kim Woo, I think was her name or something. She's former CIA. She's a doctor. Former CIA. And as some are speculating, maybe a handler. They don't know. But when you go through, you see that her account was private. So you can't even see her page. Why follow someone when you can't even see their content? And why would that be the first person that he followed? As you go through the list, you start to see more and more and more and more and more of them. And everything about this guy is suspect. I've got goods. I've got goods. We'll go ahead and we'll drop some exclusives tonight. I got goods. Here. Let me grab this screenshot. Watch this. Here you go. Here you go. This is Alpha's timeline. You can see this goon was asking this guy if he was Afghan. If you are, we're trying to make a path to Ukraine. If you're not, we can get gear and travel. I can send you a Legion application and other email addresses to mine. Puts this. And the guy says, how can I find out about this path when it's available? And the guy says, we're getting close. The Pentagon has agreed to help. Wait a little longer. So this guy is showing a direct connection in his messages to the Pentagon. Huge. Right there. Huge connection in everything he was doing. Much love, Rach. Okay, hold on. 1 second here. Shout out to my boy Gary McGinnis. Let me pause. And shift over here to something breaking. Holy crap. All right. An update. All right. We got breaking news here. This is it. It doesn't. There's nothing else on it. That's it. Russell Springs police investigate reports of a shooting. An active shooter. An officer involved shooting was reported at Russell Springs, Kentucky, this afternoon, according to Kentucky-based radio 107.9. A post from the station on Facebook said the officer who was shot was airlifted to a hospital for further medical care. This is crazy. The active shooter off of 75 here in Kentucky is still on the run. This is another one. There's something happening here. You don't have this many things happen without it not being connected and staged. We pulled up a map. My old lady showed me a map. She's like, look at this. These are all the schools that have had security incidents or counties in Kentucky that have security incidents or been locked down this year. And I looked and I was like, dude, there's no way. There's no way. There was like a dozen or more. I'm like, dude, this is all, something is happening. Sometimes you can just feel it. You can see it when it all starts to stack up. Another one here tonight or today. This is, thank you again, Gary. I'll keep you guys posted. I'm going to dig into this further. May drop a video update tomorrow on my YouTube channel on all this. I'm sure I'll gather more by tomorrow. This could be a whole different shooter. I don't know. Or the one that's still running out there wanted. So, all right. Thank you for that update there. Yeah, that was Russell Springs. All right, so back to the shooter. Again, a huge, huge question. Hasn't been answered. You know, how'd this guy know? How'd this guy know Trump was even going to be there? Okay? So you know that this guy wrote a book, right? He wrote a book. As you can see right here, he wrote in the book, in it, that you were free to assassinate Trump. That's what he wrote. Which is crazy. You don't think that they didn't know about this guy? Huh? Look at his criminal history. You don't think it didn't know mean, look, he was just talking about the Pentagon connections. He's in the Ukraine recruiting people and all this stuff. Look at what he was sentenced for. Look at all this stuff for all these years. Hit and runs. And the biggest one of them all, possession of a WMD, a weapon of mass destruction. And we don't know what that was exactly. That's a Class F felony. Huge charge. And then he's got possession of stolen goods up here, which are Class H felonies. And it's like, hold on, why is this? Who is this dude? Well, again, check my X for some of the stuff, especially his Facebook. If you want to see the stuff that's on his Facebook and all that or any other stuff. His background just shows red flags everywhere. So, more information. As it says here, I'm just going to read you from one of these updates. On Sunday, Palm Beach County Sheriff Rick Bradshaw and other law enforcement officers held a press conference, which I watched, after the Secret Service foiled a second assassination attempt. They say that shots were fired at the club, West Palm Beach, on Sunday around 1:30 p.m. when former President Trump was playing a round of golf with real estate investor Steve Witkoff. Sean Hannity was at breakfast with them earlier that morning and just so happened to state on his live video that he was at breakfast and he decided not to go because he didn't want to lose his life at the golf course that day. And people are like, hold on. You didn't want to go because you didn't want to lose your life at the golf. He said this. Sean Hannity's on video. I ain't playing it because it's such a sketch piece that they'll probably try and strike me for here on YouTube if I play it or something. He said it. He said it. It's on the video clip. He said, I didn't go because I was trying to lose my life at the golf. It's like, so you knew then. You knew something was about to happen. That's why you didn't go. He said it flat out. That's the reason he didn't go. He didn't go golfing with this guy and Trump because he didn't feel like losing his life on the golf course that day. That is exactly what he said. And everyone is like, oh my gosh, it's one of those. You can't take it back because you're live. You were live when you said it and all this. It's there. It is there. And again, it's like, what the? Red flag. Throw another flag out. Okay, so they go on to say that according to law enforcement, this guy pushed the muzzle of his rifle through the fence line at Trump's golf course before Secret Service agents fired at him. In the area of the tree line from which he fled, agents found a GoPro, 2 backpacks, a loaded SKS-style AK-47 with a scope, and a black plastic bag containing food. One of the backpacks contained ceramic tiles police believe could have been used as a shield or body armor. On Sunday, Sheriff Rick Bradshaw said that Secret Service agents were one of 2 holes ahead of Trump when they spotted Ryan Rouse's rifle muzzle through the fence line. Okay? That's what they say. Okay? So either way it goes, the story goes, they spotted the muzzle of a rifle poking through the tree line. Okay? So here we go. He has been charged with not assassination attempt on a president. You understand this? When you read this, this states that this man has been charged with 2 federal gun crimes. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, because he is, I done showed you that, and possession, max penalty of 15 years in prison, in receipt of a firearm with an obliterated serial number, max penalty 5 years in prison. So you could face 20 years in prison and $500,000 in fines on these 2 charges. Not a single one is a charge in trying to kill Donald Trump. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the world stage. And you wonder why I was so critical from Jump Street about all these shills running with information saying that Trump was shot at when he was never shot at. Was there a guy set up in the bush there with a gun, all this other stuff? Yeah. But was there shots fired? No. Not one time, not nowhere, at no press conference, anywhere have they said that guy shot a single shot. And the charges right here show it as well. So every single shill out there pushing that can shove it. You need to go back and you need to look at these accounts of these people that were pushing this. You need to check what you're following. The people that were just pushing blindly, that shots were intended for Trump without doing any research, man, it just burns me up. I bet you some of them still got it out there. When the charges in federal court show this man never took a shot at Trump. He was never charged with it. So I don't know, some people live in fantasy land out here. They just make stuff up and push whatever they want for a narrative and all this crap. It's sick and it's pathetic. Left or right, all of it. The whole damn paradigm. It's screwed, man. It's pathetic, man. Just, there you go. Yeah, everyone out there's yelling MK and all this other stuff. Yeah, so, we said something about OBS. I haven't cut out yet tonight, so it's got to be something else if it did. Oh man, I don't know. This is huge. I don't know how much bigger anything can get at this point. What you're looking for. Dude's charged, and none of the charges were even for shooting at Trump. Okay? So, insane. So you go watch whatever freaking brainwashed MSNBC, whatever you're getting your crap from, or whatever shells you're getting your crap from. You need to check them if you can on social media, especially those that are pushing this crap. I mean, everyone makes mistakes, but some of them just don't even care and won't even retract it. So this dude was not even charged with shooting at Trump. So if I see a space out there, a live stream or a conversation about a second Trump assassination, a shooting, or any of that, I'm just like, dude, you're all shills. Like, you're all garbage. You're all talking about something that's based on an absolute lie because there wasn't even shots. Like, let's just start there. If you can't get that much right, then what are you even doing? I mean, come on. I mean, some of this stuff is just like, what? Yes, thank you, Kev Barr. Look, we just hit the facts tonight, and I'm telling you, some of these fools are going to be eating crow. All these people, it's probably spent all day talking about all this crap in a different way without getting it straight. And all these people I know jump too soon on some things. I mean, it happens. I get it, but some people just ain't retracting it. And it just leads to more crap. That's my problem with it. Anyway, you can see right here, Trump's golf outing was a last-minute decision. So it goes back to my main question. How did this guy even know that Trump was going to be there? I mean, I just showed you earlier he was there for 12 hours, they're saying now. He was there for 12 hours, but yet this whole thing was a last-minute decision. Okay. Well, riddle me this, Robin. I'm almost speechless with this. This doesn't happen often. Time magazine drops a cover right before this. And what does it show? It shows Donald Trump in trouble. It's got him on the golf course, and it says in trouble. You want to talk about predictive programming? They are so blatant at this point. I told you the occult black magic is deep, it's heavy, it's hard. Not only do you tell them just blatantly. That's what you're looking at. That's what you're looking at. Them flaunting it in your face before it even happened. You got the eyes to see, man. These people ain't done. They're still at it. They're going to keep on going at it. It's like a movie, yeah, because it's all scripted. Our whole life, everything, all this is. It runs deep, super deep, on where this whole thing goes. Wait till I get to the end here and all the connections to the Bible and everything else with Trump. Like it or not, you're going to get it. Trump or not, you're going to hear it. Because that's what I give you. I give you the real and the raw. So, why would this guy be there? I've asked the question a dozen times, but I want you to hear from someone else. How about the Martin County Sheriff down there? It's pretty crazy when the sheriff starts asking questions like, is this a conspiracy?
Did he have any, to your knowledge, any ties to Martin County or the Treasure Coast?
Yeah, to my knowledge, does he have any ties to Martin County? I think the answer, to my knowledge, the answer is no, I have no knowledge. I think what we're finding out, he's not from this area, which of course raises the bigger question is, how does a guy from not here get all the way to Trump International, realize that the president, former president of the United States, is golfing and is able to get a rifle in that vicinity? I think that's the question the FBI, the Secret Service are laser focused on today. Is this guy part of a conspiracy? Is he a lone gunman? If he's a lone gunman, President Trump is that much safer because we have him. But if he's part of a conspiracy, then this whole thing really takes on a very ominous tone.
Sure.
Hear that? They're addressing that this thing can be a conspiracy. I'm going to tell you right now, this is the path it's going down. This is not a lone nutbag. Maybe they paint it that way. Maybe they try to write him off as that here. But where the conspiracy leads, I've done told you. I've done told you everything about all the handlers. Are they actually going to go back and show you that it's them? Who knows, man? They're putting everything in the open. They may be daring you to do something about it at this point. That's what it's really feeling like. I thought that the last election. I thought that when they gave you Joe Biden, they were daring every patriot in the country to do something about it. Nobody did nothing. So now they got something a little different. Oh, man. This whole thing is sus. The teardown on this whole thing of the second alleged assassination attempt is just totally sus. Not to mention the first one. All of it, everything. All the stuff surrounding him. I mean, we knew there were going to be staged events. We knew there were going to be things happen. But, I don't think anybody saw 2 assassination type things getting thrown out there. With one not even happening, like shots fired at him or anything like that. Which, it is what it is at this point. Will there be another one? Will they let Donald Trump out in the open anywhere after 2 events like this? Meanwhile, Lindsey Graham, this puppet that I can't stand. Some of these politicians I just absolutely can't stand because they're the reason we're in here. No backbone and being a sellout. It sold their soul. They've got us here. They've steered the ship here. And people have entrusted in them to do the right things, and they haven't. Well, he's warning of another 9/11 if Kamala gets in there. So I look at this, and I'm like, okay, I got to look at everything from every angle. Like, okay, if they do give you Kamala, all signs of this whole thing is just coming down. Economically, everyone's dumping all their stock instantly the day they announce that they are. No one's paying them capital gains. Nuh-uh. Like this, it's going to be like driving it off a cliff. If Kamala gets it, it's going to be like going parabolic. If you get Trump, then they're going to crash it on him. That's how I feel. That's just my opinion. This thing's coming down. And whoever fills the seat, again, take it back to bloodline. Who's going to win it? I feel Trump gets it. I don't even know until someone can prove to me that Kamala has the bloodline connected back. She can't even be. You already know who's got it. If you can just figure that out right there and rule out that she doesn't track back to this Merovingian bloodline, same bloodline or whatever that Trump is, all of the presidents are. I think it's a simple answer right there who you're going to get. Does she even qualify? If we find out amazingly that she is in the bloodline, well then watch out. You're about to get her. But I'm going to say at this point, I'm still leaning heavy Trump. Not to mention the 45-47. I'm telling you, it's written. You're saying written in the stars, prophecy, all this other stuff. Well, sometimes, and some would say some of the stuff's BS, but BS or not, if rich and powerful people believe in something and they can help make something happen, usher in an event, usher in what they would consider prophecy, they'll do it. They've done shown us they will. Okay, so here, let's turn the page. 23 years later, we've got what they're calling Al-Qaeda threatening a third 9/11 after October 7th. And it says that they are going after the pro-Palestinian protesters in the United States, trying to use them to carry out their stuff. So this is kind of crazy, man. So they're tying in these pro-Palestinians and that whole movement, which we've already seen spread across the United States. Will they move to attacking? I don't know. I think you're more likely to see stuff out of the gang stuff pop off in terms of violence. NYC subway murders soaring 60%. And Harris wanted to lie in the debate and say the numbers were down. Well, let's go look at some numbers from border czar Kamala Harris. Let's look at what she's done. Because the curtain's falling. The curtain's falling. Look at this. What do we have here? All the Haitians that are here illegally. Where did they get flown into? A majority of red states. Sounds like a tactical war move. And it's exactly what they've done. Maybe you don't know, but they've been caught red-handed, and right here's the proof, showing the numbers have exploded all the way up to this current last quarter. The amount of Haitians being brought in, they are flying them in. They are flying them in, and they are packing them into red towns and cities. This is a war, dude. And right in front of our face. And the enemy is bringing the troops in. Our replacements right in front of you. They're bringing them to your town. Moving them right on into the next building. You gotta wait till they take over your town and in your restaurant and everything. Like, when's it gonna be too late? When they're in your building? When you gotta walk by them going to work? Like, when is it enough? We got to get organized against this. I'm telling you, it's like everyone's scared shitless. It's pathetic. And it'll probably be the death of this country. Couldn't even get organized because everyone was too scared. Where's all the patriots? Where's all the militia? They're at the Trump rally. You see how that works? How come nobody's countering these illegals? How come no one's down stopping it? It's a good question. I ask, where's all the people who took an oath to serve and protect this place? And it's like, ghost town. Tumbleweeds going by. It ain't funny. It's our country falling apart. And it's the moment you try to say let's do something about it, everyone starts to get scared and turtle up. It's sick. It's sick. All these dudes that got big, huge platforms out there. I mean, it censor the crap out of me. There's dudes out there that got millions of followers and all this stuff. They ain't doing nothing. Most of these goons are just towing the line. Ain't nobody organizing nothing. Nobody. You name them. I'd tell you if I knew. Trust me, I'm on a daily. Where's these big patriot guys? There ain't none. Where's these big militia guys? There ain't none. Every one of them are out selling their crap at a Trump rally. That's right, I said it. Because that's what they're doing. Ain't no one organizing to go down and trying to stop anything anywhere or do anything like that. It's just on the citizens, I'm telling you, man. It's shout outs to Uncommon, Doug down there in El Paso. He sees it firsthand as they're coming across the border. But really, it's like the people got to take it upon themselves in El Paso to deal with this because nobody's coming to the rescue. And that's every town. No one's coming to the rescue. It's like you're going to have to deal with it yourself. That's all I can tell anyone. There's no big group that's coming like a biker gang or the truckers or whoever coming to the rescue. It's all fabricated. It's a fairy tale. It's just us, everyday people. They got to get it together against these migrants or it's done. They're bringing them in left and right, gaslighting to the news. All this craziness, man. And they're twisting it. They're twisting it in such a way to where you know the whole thing with the cats and the dogs and everything that's going down, but then they'll turn around and they'll be like, these stupid people are out there trying to say people are eating cats and dogs out there and trying to make you look stupid. And go over to somewhere like Yahoo News or any of these major left-leaning outlets. It's sickening. I'm not even a Trumper. But, dude, you can see right out the gate, they do nothing but bias, bash Trump, lean one way, push all these agendas. It's just, come on home, Lord God. Bring that sword and swing it. Bring that fire. Because I don't know of anyone else that's got the power to eliminate these demons. I don't. There's not a good human out here that'll do it. I don't see one of these billionaires that'll even attempt to do it. Everybody's throwing all their faith in their savior, Trump. We're going to get to that here in just a second. We keep it pushing here. I just wanted to show you, though, your current vice president that's trying to run to be president is the border czar, and she is responsible alone under her name and her on her watch of sending all these migrants into all these red states and towns. These people should be shown this. They should be shown this, told this. They should know this. Be made aware of the treason that's happening right now and who's doing it. That's what needs to happen. Okay? All right, there were bomb threats out of Springfield. The other day I was reporting on this. I didn't know there was 30 that came in Springfield. Up there where all the cats and the dogs and all the crap. Yeah. And it's not just happening there. It's any of the towns where these people are moving into. All right, so you think it's just in these couple of places you've heard thus far. You're going to wait until it's in your own backyard. I'm telling you. Residents of a Pennsylvania town outraged that the Civil War era orphanage is going to be used for migrants. Outraged, huh? Well, what are you going to do? Stop it. Rise. Let's see something. Show me something. Somebody can get out there and show the people that the whole town came out and they shut it down. They said, that will spread. That will spread like wildfire. We just need it to spark. We need to get some good video of this happening in one small town, all the people coming out, making a stand, and making a change. And then the next town does it, and the next town. And the next thing you know, it's the cool thing to do. And that's what you got to do. You got to counter this evil somehow, man. You've got to get smart about it. You've got to find a way to move the people. Okay? Right now, they're doing it. They're moving the people all right. Migrants bringing the replacements in, left and right, all over the place. And as I just showed you, shipping them into your backyards. So now, this small town, Pennsylvania, they're about to use this old orphanage in town to store the migrants. Like a Trojan horse, man. For anyone out there that sees this happening in your neck of the woods, you better do everything in your power to stop it. Looky here. This is down at the border wall. There's a hole in it. This is in Tucson, Arizona. And the cartel's encamped there. Just pushing right on through, doing whatever they want down there. All right, that's how bad this is. And there's many of these holes all across the place. Like, we're getting invaded, and we need real people to stand up and defend this place. Like yesterday. It's crazy. A former ICE official, when I put a video out on this, is warning that they're about to launch a huge gang war, that they're about to take over turf, that they're spreading, they're moving in faster than MS-13 even did. They're taking over building complexes in all these places. It's rampant in that they're coming in large numbers and moving fast. So these guys are saying from what they see, there's a planned big gang war. It's about to happen. It looks like Colorado is going to be the epicenter. All I can say is we're going to try to stay on top of this and cover everything best we can as this stuff spreads. But, you know, you got animals coming through the back door. You close it. You know, you don't leave it wide open, or they're going to keep coming in. So until that happens, you know, I'm convinced that they're already in here enough. There's like over 10 million plus, and that's a massive army. It's a massive army. They could start fighting us any day. We'd fight all the way up to 2030. It'd be nonstop. Enemies here. You wouldn't have to worry about trying to defend a border like you've always imagined or anything. It's not going to be like that. They're going to be in your own backyard. They'll be in your own neighborhoods. They already are. But nobody cares. Off to the next video. It's off to more entertainment. It's all anybody cares about. Relaxation, entertainment. It's all anybody cares about. That's all anybody's going to care about until it's done. Like a thief in the night. So here's one for you. Here's a positive. Let's take one out of Sweeten's book. They're willing to pay migrants who fail to assimilate over $31,000 to return home. Here you go. Here's a nice check. Pack your bags. Get out. Okay? Leave. You couldn't assimilate. Bounce. I think there should be rules and laws. Listen, I truly do. It should be on the books. And if not for the country, for your state. Bring this up to your politician. Like, if you can't come here and assimilate to how the way of life here is, then you're not welcome. And you've got a 6-month trial window to prove this initially. And if you can't initially fail, you're gone immediately. Definitely, you're not even going to be considered to be a migrant in your migrant application. Okay? If you want to bring your animalistic ways from another country where you treat women like crap and smack them around and beat them and do all this, ain't happening here. Ain't happening here. Do you understand? Ain't happening. Some of these places, it ain't happening. Okay? Let's say quite a few places, it's not going to happen. People are not going to tolerate it. And they're not going to tolerate you snatching up the crap and killing it and eating it and doing all this other crap. It's going to turn. Something's about to happen. By default, this is going to create a home front. And there, by default, your government's going to call the home front the terrorist. They're going to call them all domestic terrorists. So any of you that want to get up and defend yourself, your government's going to call you the bad guy. You see how that works? Because that's what they're doing everywhere else. Is it not? That's what they're doing in the UK. Can't you see everything that's happening in all these other countries? It's begun here. And can't you already see the end game? You can already see the end game in some of the countries. That's what's coming here. It won't happen exactly like that, but it will play out like that in many small towns and cities all across the country. So, let me bring you to my final tidbit of the night. Is Donald Trump the Antichrist? I just asked a question, so calm down. How dare you? All right, listen. If you don't want to have at least an open mind enough to listen to the facts, then just go back to sleep. Go to bed. Just get out of here. Okay, don't come back until you're open-minded and you've graduated to this level of understanding and consciousness. Okay? There's some things out here that, regardless, good or bad, you need to know. And we're going to go through some. Okay? And we're going to do just here real quick, hopefully in the next 10 minutes, there's 15 things I'm going to try to sum up through it. Okay? First off, and I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying these are pointing to where he could be. Okay? I believe it's an embodiment. The spirit of the Antichrist, it seethes through a lot of these characters. But I do believe Trump is special. Could he be the little horn? Could he be a false prophet? Could he be the antis you're seeing here? I got my own reservations on all that because I believe that someone to fill that role has to be like a global leader. And you have to perform miracles to be a messiah. Okay? And be globally known, not just a United States figure. You have to be controlling the world, have a world effect. And you have to be performing miracles like the Yanuka is in Israel. I keep telling you, man. See, that to me is the difference. False prophet, Antichrist, dark messiah. Well, the Yanuka, they're definitely calling that they're Messiah. It's in the open. You can't take that away. So who's what an exact label, I don't know. Okay? But I'm going to tell you now, Donald Trump was very special in terms of being a chosen one, and the dude knows it. He's even said it. So I'm going to run through this just to let you see. Okay? And keep a lot of these things in mind. The tribe of Dan is the Israelite tribe that the Antichrist is prophesied to belong to. Okay? And also from Genesis 49, Trump is of the tribe of Dan on his maternal side, his mother's side, the MacLeod clan of Scotland. That's exactly what I told you earlier. Okay? Descendants of Dan migrated into Scotland through Scandinavia. Okay? Denmark. And what does Denmark equal? The mark of Dan. through Viking invasion. The MacLeod clan is of the Isle of Lewis, which is known to have been populated by Viking invasion in the late 8th and 9th century. Okay? He is Roman Assyrian through his paternal side, the Trump family. And that's his real last name for any rookies out there that don't know. There are only Trumps up to Trump's dad that changed their name to Trump. They were Drumpf. It's what they are. Drumpf. Okay? That's what your Trump really is. Okay? A Drumpf. Okay? Talk about fakery. Okay? And changing things out here. But this is what it really is. It originates in the Rhine River, about 80 miles from Trier, in ancient Roman city founded by an Assyrian prince named Trebeta. Roman and Assyrian heritage fulfills Daniel 9:26 and Micah 5:6. Both, it does. You can't deny this. Also fulfills Daniel 7:20. His look was stouter than his fellows, i.e., fatter or thicker, pudgier or whatever. So call it what you will. It fulfills these things. The name Donald, and this is where it starts to get crazy, means world ruler. Trump generally means to win by craftiness or deception. His name literally means world ruler who succeeds by craftiness or deception. In the book of Daniel, chapter 7, Daniel describes the Antichrist as the little horn. In Israel, an animal horn is made into a shofar, which is a type of trump or trumpet. The little horn mentioned by Daniel is described in Daniel, listen to this, in Daniel 7:21 through 7:25. Trump Tower in New York City is located at 721 to 725 Fifth Avenue. Who owns 666? His son-in-law. It's all in the family. Kushner. He owns 666. This goes right back to the prophecy of the little bear and Trump stuff, man. You can't make this up. This is like prophetic, crazy type stuff. According to Daniel's vision, the Antichrist had a mouth speaking great things. Trump is known for his slogan, "Make America Great Again." Okay? According to Revelation, the Antichrist is the beast of the sea, and he gets cast into the lake of fire. Mar-a-Lago literally means sea to the lake. The Jewish people already love Trump. He has towns named after him, train stations, even minted a shekel coin bearing his image along with Solomon. He has been called the Shield of Jerusalem. They've even written songs about him. That's right. And it's even said that he could potentially be the one that pulls together this peace plan. Okay? That would fulfill Daniel 9:27 if he did that. He's well known for his ego, which it says are characteristics of the Antichrist, per Daniel 11:36. And Trump has stated he is the greatest and most successful president ever. And he has publicly stated that he is the chosen one. He has said this. Okay? He also, listen to this. This is crazy. He retweeted someone calling him the second coming of God. Okay? These are facts. Doesn't matter what am I reading off of. It's a collection of facts is what I'm reading off of. Okay? Making a deal is in 9:27 of Daniel, where the Antichrist makes a deal. And then a comeback in Revelation 13:3. They're both there. These are the two major prophesized activities of the Antichrist. He describes it in Daniel 9:27 and Revelation 13:3. He makes a deal in 9:27 and a comeback in Revelation 13:3. Trump is famous for two books, The Art of the Deal and The Art of the Comeback. Donald John Trump in Hebrew. Doesn't matter anything else, in Hebrew. With the 3-cipher gematria equals 666. Fulfilling Revelation 13:18. Donald Trump was the 45th president, born exactly 45% of the year and 45.45% of the century. So what does 45 have to do with 666? Well, 45 divided by 3 is 15. And when you reduce that down in gematria, it is a 6, and a 6 again. So that's two confirmations on it there. Trump, and these are just facts, folks. So anyone wants to get butthurt, I don't know what to tell you. Okay? Get butthurt. The whole universe ain't my fault. I'm just telling you. But that's usually how it happens. Trump is seemingly obsessed with Apollo. I showed you his whole penthouse suite is nothing but gold and Apollo. Not a picture of Jesus or Yeshua anywhere in it. Again, facts. It's all the fallen, the Nephilim. It is Zeus and his offspring. That's who it is. All over it. On the table, on the wall, on the ceiling. Okay? That's right. Apollo is who he worships. The sun god. Apollo, the son of Zeus. The mocking of Jesus. You see? The same Apollo that is the Statue of Liberty in that harbor. Do you understand? He is linked to these twin towers. New York City. Let's read Revelation 9:11 describing the Antichrist. It states that they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew, his tongue was Abaddon, but in Greek tongue, his name is Apollyon. Apollo. Okay? 9/11 also connects to Trump in two ways, and this is how you know he's going to be president again. 9/11. 9 is 4 plus 5. 11 is 4 plus 7. There is 45 and 47. And he wears a hat that says 45, 47 on it. Clearly. He's going to be 47. He's going to be the next president. All signs point to there. Okay? It says that he will honor, in Daniel 11:13, it states that the Antichrist will honor a god of fortress, a god unknown to his ancestor. This god of fortress refers to the divine feminine or goddess worship. The female goddess goes by many different names. Ishtar, the whore of Babylon, Diana, Artemis, all these different names. And they say that he shows you this all the time. He honors that god of the fortress every chance he gets by constantly making the yoni, which is the hand sign of the vagina. The divine feminine. That's it. He does it. He does it. And you know it everywhere he goes. He flashes that, call it a diamond, call it whatever you want. He does it. And you know it. So, here's more. Likewise, the stepped masses at the base of Trump Tower, which was once covered with bushy trees so that it would resemble a vagina, also displays an inverted pyramid. And furthermore, it is arranged with six trees on each of its three sides. I wonder why they would do that. Or they would decorate it like that if they didn't believe in all this. Coincidence, maybe? So, massive amounts of predictive programming have put Trump out there to all these shows. There's a full list here. I clicked on it. I couldn't believe it. For the past 70 years, this dude's been alive. All the shows, all the little innuendos, all the little everything that has to do with him. He comes in like this special character, even up to You're Home Alone. It's crazy. And they say Satan loves to copy God, and he does. Jesus' mother's name was what? Mary. What was Trump's mom's name? Mary. Jesus' aunt's name was Elizabeth. Trump's aunt's name is Elizabeth. Jesus' cousin's name is John. Trump's cousin's name is John. There are so many things here that you can't just look past it. Okay? For instance, Elizabeth Christ Trump, Fred Christ Trump occurs throughout his family tree. And it's crazy. It says that Christ is born of the Virgin Mary. It says the Antichrist was born in Washington, D.C. between Virginia and Maryland. That's just, it's all crazy connections, man. I wanted to share them with you. Man, that 45-47 though. The 45-47. It's just like, he's flaunting that one right in front of your face too. He gets it, man. It's like you knew it. You'll remember tonight. Some of these things. It's all there. You can't deny it. The Daniel 7:21, 7:25, and then Trump Tower sits at 7:25, 7:21 to 7:25. You just can't. Some of these things, man. It's what it is. Hate him, love him, believe it or not, believe in it or not, any of it. Just showing you what's there. It's pretty crazy sometimes, huh? So, all right. So went past normal time on the stream here tonight. Much love to everybody that's joined me here tonight. Thank you again for the coffee from earlier, Carolyn. Appreciate it to the fullest. Those that sent a super chat, I appreciate that to the fullest. Those that share the stream, appreciate it to the fullest. And if you got anything you want to get to me, dabu7@yahoo.com, or tag me on Twitter, X. Make sure to follow me over there for the latest updates. So, yeah. Looks like that's all I got on tap here for tonight. For those that get to see the eclipse tomorrow night, enjoy it. If you guys get any good images, let me know. And yeah, much love. God bless, as always. And if God doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you next time for Underground World News Live. Much love to all you pure bloods. Keep it pure all the way. God bless. Thank you, Eon. Appreciate it more than you know. Much love. Much Diane. 10-4, uncommon. Again, much love to all you guys. God bless. Thank you, David.